Oh, there you are. Okay, now you're here. All right, podcast number 2. I forgot how Zoom works for a second.
I'm glad you figured it out.
I know. As y'all can probably tell, I'm related to this man.
Unfortunately.
This is Noah. A lot of you guys know him as well, but for those of you who don't, he's my cousin. He's a couple years older than me. He has a degree in communication from good old Nebraska Cornhuskers and was an All-American athlete. And yeah, he's just the shit, I guess. So, Noah, what are we talking about today?
You know, as you texted me yesterday, right? And you were like, yeah, find something. So let's talk about something. I was like, fuck, dude, there's so much to talk about going on right now, right? All the rioting, the Black Lives Matter, all that, right? I figured, that's probably what you're going to get a lot talking about here recently. So I figured, let's mix it up. Let's get you something else. So I was talking to Emily about it. And we were just talking about stuff. And I was like, have you seen all this, how Hillary Clinton is being like, she's like all her emails are getting gone through right now? Have you seen all that shit?
Uh-huh.
So Emily was like, oh, shit, yeah, I did see that. Actually, I got something for you. She pulls up this conspiracy theory called the Clinton body count. Oh my God.
Oh,
this shit is wild, dude. Look it up. This shit is wild. There is a conspiracy theory that they account for 48 deaths of people that worked for them, worked with them, went against them. 48 people that mysteriously died that are connected to them, and this conspiracy theory thinks they killed them or had their way in having them killed. Right. Obviously, so the most recent was Epstein, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Things like that, so right?
It's shit like that, right? Let me pull up this one.
So I think people immediately question the validity behind that, right? And when you say that word conspiracy, people immediately are like, not true, right? Especially for people that are older than us, they hear that word conspiracy theory and they're like, immediately they dismiss it. So
yeah,
you're looking up, the articles right now, or?
Yeah, I got them up there. I got the fucking Wikipedia. I mean, there's literally news articles from like ABC, all this shit about it.
So do we have any credible,
maybe so obviously if they could prove this, right, they wouldn't be fucking roaming the streets, right? They'd be in jail. So no. But I mean, there's literally
who's
48
talking about it though.
Well, see, again, so this is new to me. This was just brought up to me yesterday. So I did some research on this morning, been looking at it this morning. But it's a conspiracy theory, parts of which has been advanced by Newsmax publisher Christopher Rudy, among others, that asserts that former U.S. President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary Clinton have assassinated 50 or more of their associates, starting in the early 1990s. Right, so they've just gone through, and anybody that's fucking gone against them or been anything about it, just fuck them, kill them, right? Get them out of the way. And so she's on blast right now, getting all her emails read. And actually, I read an article this morning with ABC News about her emails that they're going through right now. There's literally like 30 emails that they found to different people during the election and everything, to different people that she said, she literally told these people, if that douchebag wins, I will kill you. Dude, she is fucking herself right now.
No, she's okay. So what I will say is, first of all, we need to not act like government assassinations have not existed in the past.
Oh yeah.
There's strong speculation and evidence to support that JFK was, there were definitely government entities behind that. Austin and I talked about yesterday how the government had to have been involved in the bombing of Rosewood and that whole story, because we were like, who has planes and bombs in 1950s or 1920s, I think is when it happened.
Yeah.
Who has planes and bombs? I think we know who has that. So let's not act like the government doesn't do corrupt things. They definitely do. And when it comes to the Clintons specifically, there were witness accounts telling stories about Clinton during an interview that Hillary Clinton had during her campaign against Donald Trump. And there was someone backstage who gave an account about what Clinton said, because the interviewer, I can't remember who the interviewer was. I can maybe look it up on a separate time, but the interviewer asked her some questions that they did not cover before the interview.
They weren't the approved questions.
And the interviewer put her on blast. And for anyone who doesn't know, I know you know this, Noah, but for people who don't know, everything is planned like that, right? Like before those interviews happen, those aren't, they all know what the questions are. The interviewer knows what the answers are going to be. right? And so it's a big deal when the interviewer goes off script. And that's exactly what happened. And backstage, apparently Hillary just unleashed her nastiness all over whoever she could. And she was cursing and saying, if this mother effer wins, then our whole plan will go down the shitter.
Yep.
What does that mean?
But she knew that if he won, she was going to be investigated.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to her right now.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I know there's a lot of other shit going on. So obviously he's busy right now. He's trying to, save face right now because he's a dumbass. But I'm surprised he's not all over Twitter ripping her to shreds right now with this investigation going on with her.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because she is getting torn up right now.
Yeah. And that's a weird thing about it right now, right? Is Donald is really making himself look dumb, even to the people who want to support him. Even when a lot of this was starting, I was still trying to be like, hey guys, let's look at this objectively. Yeah, he's a clown, but he did all this financial good stuff. And now I'm just like, Donald, bro, stop that. Stop. Bro.
Yeah.
Be
quiet. He's done great
you know?
things, but no, dude, he just needs to shut the fuck up. He's being a dumbass. He needs to stop talking. He needs to, somebody fucking put him in a bunker and do everything for him at this point. Because he is just being a douche right now. He needs to chill.
He's being so much. And so that's what's interesting about it is Donald's out here making a fool of himself. And Hillary is making a fool of herself right now. But hardly anyone knows about it because Donald's too big over here running his circus.
And there's so much going on. She's just flying under the radar right now. There's nothing about it. It's not on the news. There's nothing. She's just flying under the radar about getting torn to pieces about these emails she's sending.
Well, and the only people that know about it are the people on social media. That's the thing. Is the only I knew about it. Well, I mean, definitely heard about it. At first, I thought maybe it was fake because I heard about it early. Like as soon as the protest started, I saw just a tweet. There wasn't an article attached to it. Someone was just spouting off at the mouth about how Hillary's right now in court and it's not in the news. And I was like, all right, Twitter, shut up, let's get out of here. But then we keep hearing about it. We keep hearing about it. Then some articles come out. Then some credible sources come out about her actually being in court.
Crazy how that happens, right? When everything's popping off, she's in court.
I know. And is it 30,000 emails? Or is it more?
It might be more. That sounds like a big number, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Something that...
It's a lot. I mean, it's huge.
So the perspective that, there's this big grand conspiracy and the elites and the, people go as far to say the Illuminati, which I definitely thought there was a lot of evidence for a long time as well. And I think some of that exists. We know about the Rothschilds. We know about Rockefellers and these people who are not on the Forbes list and have more money than everyone in the world. I mean, they're the elite of the elite, and they definitely have influence over what happens in the world. How could they not? But that being said, there's also a lot to be said about just the pure, what is the word? Just people being idiots in all facets of life. Like Hillary could have done that on a secure server. She had so much access,
right?
To secure servers, and she did it in a bathroom.
Yeah, you're this powerful person that you can pull all this shit off, and why do you do it like that? Like I could have been fucking sneaking in that. Come on.
Yeah, and
what's happening here? It's
like
you wanted to get caught, honestly.
Well, it makes you wonder how they got put there in the first place. It's like, how are you this dumb? You're supposed to be, honestly, you're supposed to be so smart. You're supposed to be so intelligent. We are trusting you to make decisions on behalf of millions of people, whether you work for a state or a city. If you're a city official for New York, you're in charge of millions of people. That is a great responsibility. We can't have people who are sending tens of thousands of emails on a public server talking about assassinating our own civilians.
Yeah, it blows my mind, dude. Like, what are you doing? How do you think you're gonna get away with that? But so go ahead.
So what I was gonna say is, I think people hear these discussions, people who aren't used to hearing these kinds of things, people who don't listen to podcasts, people who aren't on social media, people who really, if they're getting their news, they're getting it from the TV.
Yeah.
Right. They hear these kind of discussions, like this is the first time they're ever hearing of something like this. And, they're quick to write us off. And I would just encourage those who are maybe hearing talk like this for the first time and starting to hear some bad mouthing about our own government. Guys, these people are people. People in the government are people. You have corrupt bosses. You have corrupt neighbors. Okay. If your next door neighbor told you they wanted to run for president and there was, excuse me, extreme evidence stacked up against that person, that person was a child molester and a rapist, you would be the first person to let everybody know that person should not be running for president. Okay. Well, guess what? That's both of our candidates.
That's literally what's happening
right now. Yep. Both of them are alleged child molesters and rapists. Both of them.
Yep.
Anyway, what were you going to
say? So I was just going to say, right, I've got this article up here to kind of go along with it. The top 10 of the Clinton body count, right? And the first one is Susan Coleman. Susan Coleman had an affair with Bill, 7 months pregnant, found with a gunshot wound in the back of her head, and it was suicide.
Ooh.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Bro, I'm convinced.
Bro. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did because, bro, moms, if you're a mom and you have a baby, you're getting an abortion before you kill yourself.
100%. 100%.
Moms don't do that, bro. That doesn't happen.
And the rest of them are all these.
Listen to this right now. Are like, nope, red flag.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of these are all, investigative journalists who, had, apparently uncovered some shit about the Clintons and then were mysteriously found dead the next day. Like they released something, dead the next day. Like that
Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Carol
the OG Carol Baskin over here. The OG
Killed
Carol
her
Baskin.
husband, whacked him, bro. I'm just saying at what point, and it's not funny, I'm sorry for making jokes, but at what point do we stop turning a blind eye to mysterious disappearances that line up back to back to back to back to back?
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird word? Mysterious disappearance?
It just sounds weird. Mysterious sounds mysterious. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I must have done that on purpose.
What do you mean by that, man? Like, what is this? An episode of Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. Honestly, we're gonna
this is real life.
We're gonna pull her mask off and she's gonna be fucking, a mass murderer. Like, but I mean, I haven't done a whole lot. Like I said, this is all new shit that I pulled up. But I thought, we'd get a little mix in here for you, get a little difference. But I mean, and it's not just the Clintons, right? This is
it's
other
not.
people.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Austin,
apparently, with Epstein, he was talking about how he was throwing everybody under the bus when he went to jail. He was like, "Fuck it, everybody's going with me," right? Yeah. And then he hangs himself. No, you got all that shit. You're not hanging yourself, dude. You're taking everybody down with you.
Mm. Well, and he would have been killed before he kills himself.
That's exactly what happened.
I mean, if you're, because all of a sudden now he has a mission, and he what seems like he has a change of heart. And
what? Did you see the autopsy of Epstein?
Nah.
The dude that did the autopsy said 100% he didn't hang himself. 100%. No chance that he hung himself.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I did hear something about how there was no signs of anything.
There was 100% he didn't hang himself.
No, his trachea wasn't crushed or even damaged. No damage to his skin whatsoever that would have been, lasting.
Yep. Poor guy. He's next. He should have kept his mouth closed.
Well, I mean, should he have though?
No, I'm just. But
they're
coming for him now.
If he wanted to survive, then he should have kept his mouth closed. So, how do we know how he died? Did he get poisoned? Or?
I haven't seen it enough. I haven't read enough. I just read a little bit of it that the guy said that he did not hang himself, but I didn't see what he determined deemed the cause of death.
Right, because if it was a gunshot wound, then that that would have been blatantly obvious. Or it sounds like
in a jail cell.
Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know, he was killed a little bit more tactfully than blood and gore. Do you know Eric Garner? That whole story? Is that his name?
I know that name.
So
I heard that name before.
I think that's his name, Eric Garner. I'm almost positive that's his name. But the guy who I don't know his story well, but I do know that he was he filmed something. Crap. Hang on. We're gonna look it up.
Death of Eric Garner on July 17, 2014. Eric Garner died in New York City borough of Staten Island after Daniel Pentello, New York City Police Officer Department, put him in a chokehold while arresting him. Video footage of the incident generated widespread national attention and raised questions about the appropriate use of force by law enforcement.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the one you're looking for.
Someone sent me. Well,
so he was the dude. I'm pretty sure this is the one. He was selling cigarettes, and that cop. He's the big dude, like a good, close to 300-pound black man that got put in a headlock. And he was the first one that said, I can't. He was the first one doing the I can't breathe, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So check this out. So actually, his name is Ramsey.
I can't see you, by the way.
I know, because I'm on my.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's all good. Ramsey Orta filmed the killing of Eric Garner. The video traveled far, but it wouldn't get justice for his dead friend. So basically, what happened with Ramsey Orta, he filmed that. He was the one that filmed Eric Garner, like I just said, and they basically, the government came after Ramsey and incarcerated him and mistreated him.
4 years.
They poisoned him.
Sentenced to 4 years in prison for drugs and weapon charges. Because he
unlawful. That wasn't true. So they poisoned him. They tried to get him to kill himself, and they tortured him. They did all sorts of nutty things to him. He's set to get released in a couple days, I think, this month or next month. And he's gonna get released soon. But anyway, dude, it's a wild thing.
So he was the one that recorded it, and then he got charged for a bunch of shit, and he's about out. I'm reading through this. Hold on.
Yeah, so it's actually so for those of you who go to the protests and take videos, excuse me, and those kind of things, we really got to be careful, guys, because
it's actually illegal, isn't it?
It's not illegal. It's not illegal. That's the thing. What they're doing is illegal. You can't arrest somebody for something they didn't do just because you're mad that they filmed your bullshit.
Oh yeah. Like when people are recording, cops when they come up to their car and they try and take their phone and shit from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a reason police are starting to be required to have body cams on them and that kind of thing. So that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to suppress freedom of speech because they know that we're starting to figure it out. And so that's the big problem here. And so I want to tell people who are out there taking videos and spreading the message and doing their thing, who believe in something, that's all good, but you need to be ready for what might happen to you if you find yourself catching the right thing at the right time, because to them, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You might be another Ramsey Orta,
Oh, here's a good one. So back to Epstein. I was reading through this more. So the original New York City medical examiner, right, ruled Epstein died by suicide, but then his brother hired a private one, and then that he's the one who disputed it, that it wasn't suicide. He's got a little questionable past apparently, but examiner was fired after a long string of errors on his watch, making his word a little untrustworthy. So, I mean,
long string of errors on his watch. What does that mean?
That's what. So, but the examiner that ruled it wasn't suicide, but the examiner was fired after a long string of errors. I mean, what errors do you do as an examiner? Do you cut the chest open too hard? I mean,
I see what it's saying. So it's just basically saying like, things that he shouldn't have been doing that definitely caused for alarm.
Follow protocol correct when he was doing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's obviously there, but so Trump knows about all this, right? So after all that came out, right, it was back and forth of, was this examiner right? Was he not? Blah, blah, blah. And then Trump tweeted the day Epstein died, tweeted, "We know who did this," and the hashtag Clinton body count.
What?
I didn't know that. I just read that. Yeah. And Clinton crime family. Hashtag
Can you look that up
family.
on Twitter for me? Can you try to find that? Can you look up Donald Trump on Twitter real quick? Yeah. No way, Donald Trump.
I mean, there's no way it's still there, right?
I mean, he's wild, bro.
He is, but
you think he deleted it?
I mean, dude, that was so long ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago. I guess I thought it was recent.
I mean, Epstein died last year, didn't he? So,
Oh, okay.
How about I just type in that hashtag?
I actually don't know the Epstein story super well. That like when it happened, I actually pretty recently found out about it.
Yeah. All right.
Nah, it's
what did
okay.
I say? It was Clinton body count.
Yeah, Donald Trump tweets about Clinton body count.
Oh, there's a whole fucking page about it, dude. Holy shit, this is gonna be fun. Oh, the first thing that comes up, dude, is Bill. Look at this shit. The first thing that comes up.
Oh no, put it away. Put it away.
First thing that comes up.
I'm gonna have to find a way to block that out or something, bro. I don't think we can put that on the internet.
there ain't nothing in there.
Holy shit. Dude, is that him?
That's him, yeah. I mean, it looks like him. I mean, it could be somebody else, but it looks like him. I mean, we all know that he fucked around. Like, there's no hiding that anymore. He even admitted it.
Right.
We're not hiding that anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Bills, man. Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby. Bills, man. The Bills, man. Y'all gotta stop. I'm not naming my kid William or Bill, nothing like that.
No.
Just to make sure.
No.
Just to make sure.
Anthony Bourdain tweeted isn't that dude a chef or something like that? Who's Anthony? Right? Anthony Bourdain, that's the chef guy, right?
Maybe.
He's got a show, I think. I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, period. I don't know if that's real or Photoshop, but oh, man.
So
dude,
Noah,
once we're done, search the Clinton body count on Twitter, dude, and just read through this shit.
Yeah. Look, see, Zoom telling me we're running out of time. I don't understand that.
I'll tell Zoom fuck off.
That's okay. So I wanted to keep these podcasts actually pretty short, wrapped up around 20 minutes anyway. So I think now is a good time to wrap it up. But and so I think final thoughts are a good thing. So what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean, government's just a shit show right now, as it always has been. It's just things are actually coming out now. People are actually doing their homework and researching and seeing and finding shit. So it's blowing up more. But unfortunately, it's going to continue because they have all the power. It's not going to stop until somebody gets in there that didn't come from a family that grew up in it or stuff like that. I mean, it's not going to change. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, it doesn't affect me.
As long as people,
honestly.
Yeah, and I know, and that
sucks. That sucks, right?
Well, that's the weird thing about being a white male, especially right now, is
100%.
A lot of us really would like to speak out and like help along as long as we agree with this. We want to just let people know that we definitely support that as well, that motion.
100%.
And it's been weird, bro. The response to that is a lot of times positive, but when it's negative, it's a really weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it doesn't affect me. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna drink my Busch Light, and I'm gonna live my life, because I'm a blessed white man. I don't have to worry about it. But a lot of other people do, and it sucks. I wish that wasn't how it was at all. It's how it shouldn't be for anybody.
Well, I think that's what we need to do, and I think that's why it's good, because even though that's the reality of the situation, we're not afraid to admit that there's problems and that it's not about someone being better. It's about that we're unequal right now, and that's the issue, right? And we're mad about it too, regardless of where we sit in our social class, right?
100%. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Noah Gabel, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
All right. See you, man.
Love you.